Hello, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. You are watching the YouTube station identification of one New Bedford, Massachusetts resident YouTubers. I'm here live in the basement. No, this is not MTV's remote control, and I'm not Ken Ober. God rest his soul. My name is Eric Lim. You're watching WEML, channel 77, episode 163. Time for the Raw ThunderDome Event Center recap of April the 19th. I almost said August again. April the 19th. 2021. And as you know, it's the second, as you know, WrestleMania has come and gone. We have an event that represents the fallout of WrestleMania known as Backlash. And that's coming up, WrestleMania Backlash. And a lot of things are already happening here. So we have one championship match already happening in WrestleMania Backlash, a rematch. Lashley and McIntyre. It seems, and speaking of Drew McIntyre, he was heading out to the ring, and he wants some answers from MVP of why T-Bar and Mace, formerly of Retribution, attacked Drew McIntyre. And then while McIntyre was talking, MVP showed up. MVP said, they're not part of the Hurt Business. We're downsizing the Hurt Business to only two, myself and Bobby Lashley. That's what MVP was telling him. But then I think when Drew McIntyre wanted to go after MVP, once again, Mason T-Bar blindsided Drew McIntyre. And then afterwards, you know, Kevin Patrick, our new correspondent all the way from Ireland, I've come to find out, interviewed T-Bar and Mason, said he's extinct. You know? So anyways, and Drew McIntyre, all full of anger, like he always is, went to Adam Pearce and says, I don't care. I want T-Bar and Mace in a handicap match. I don't care. But Adam Pearce does care about Drew McIntyre. He says you're going to need a partner. But Drew's like, I'm going at this alone. And so there's that. The Viking Raiders battle Cedric Alexander and Shelton Benjamin in a rematch, which the Viking Raiders, from last week, which the Viking Raiders did return after Ivar has been on the sidelines for 7 months. Viking Raiders did pick up a victory once again over Cedric Alexander and Shelton Benjamin. Will the Viking Raiders be in line for a tag team title shot? Who knows for sure? I don't know. AJ Styles and Omos. Who knows? They're probably watching. Then Kevin Patrick interviewed Randy Orton, and then Matt Riddle interrupts him. I'm like, Matt Riddle, Matt, what are you doing? That's Randy Orton. You don't want to do that. So, anyways, Matt Riddle. And then, infuriated by all this, Orton went to Pearce and said, I want a match against Riddle. He didn't say, and all that. And then Charlotte Flair comes out, addresses the WWE Universe, says she wants a shot at the title. She wants to be respected. She was whining, crying about everything else. Asuka interrupts, and then Rhea Ripley interrupts both ladies because Asuka and Charlotte are supposed to go one-on-one in a matchup. And then Rhea Ripley says, hey, actually, Charlotte was talking to Ripley, said, I want you to come down to ringside, have a seat, and watch this matchup. And then Rhea Ripley, the new Raw Women's Champion, goes, I'll take you up on your offer, right? And Rhea Ripley knows that Asuka can beat Charlotte. And then Asuka says, I'm going to beat you, bitch. And I'm like, did you just call Charlotte, excuse my language, a bitch? And I'm like, oh, Charlotte she got ratioed and all that good stuff. So anyways, so there's that. And then Orton was heading to the ring, and Matt Riddle rides past him in his scooter, and I was like, don't tempt Orton, please, Riddle. Please, Riddle, please. And then Riddle went one-on-one with Orton. It was a heck of a matchup, though. Went back and forth. Orton, it seems like Riddle knew what Orton's thinking. Riddle is probably a student of the game. To think about it, he studies up because he did beat Randy Orton with a crucifix. And Randy Orton's like, I would not be surprised a rivalry between those two. No, Randy Orton, the intense and sometimes hot-tempered veteran, and you got the laid-back, cool, young star in Riddle, And today's 420. So my Survivor Series team will go like this. Val Venus, Rob Van Dam, Matt Riddle, and MSK. That's all I'm going to say about that. So that was my dream Survivor Series team. Team 420. Val Venus, Rob Van Dam, Matt Riddle, and MSK. That's my dream Survivor Series team. Anyways, Anyway, so that victory goes to Matt Riddle, who was still excited about it. Sheamus was talking to Pierce about how he's going to defend his United States title. He's going to issue an open challenge. And so they had a women's tag match. The women's tag team champions, Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler. It seems like they dropped the Reginald storyline, I think, which is very interesting. They did that. You know, we haven't seen no Reginald, so they probably just dropped the storyline. Went up against Lana and Naomi. And then during the matchup, there was far front. Jax and Baszler were dominating. Baszler hurt Lana, but Lana was doing okay. Mandy Rose and Dana Brooke interrupt the match by showing footage, and then it got to the point when Nia slipped off the apron because Nia and Shayna made fun of Mandy Rose slipping at WrestleMania. So during all that time, Nia Jax said to jump down from the apron and go after Mandy Rose and Dana Brooke, leaving Shayna Baszler in the ring against Lana and Naomi. And Lana and Naomi did a double face buster to pick up the win. So, and Shayna's not too happy about it. And so then we got a segment with Miz TV with Maurice and the Miz, celebrate Miz and Mrs. And I think on the next episode, talking about snip, snip, vasectomy. Poor Miz. That's all I'm going to say. But you know what? Couldn't happen to a nicer guy. Anyways, and then the Miz gives Maurice props. Maurice gives her husband props, like a loving married couple would do. Then Damian Priest comes out, and then all of a sudden, Maurice goes, "Hey, you want a match against the Miz? You got it." Hey, well, Maurice, don't worry, I got this, right? So Damian Priest goes, "I wasn't looking for a fight, but hey, you know what? Hey, let's do it." So, and then Matt Riddle was celebrating, was on a high, no pun intended, after beating Randy Orton, and New Day was talking, and Riddle's like, "Wait, what you got there?" And he's holding a briefcase and going, "I got something really cooler than Francesca too." And then, as Kofi Kingston went one-on-one with Elias, and then Elias and Jackson Ranker, Elias about to sing, and you hear cling, you hear boom. It's like a bass sound. And then before you know it, because if you see on Xavier Woods' Twitter at Austin Creed Wins, he's been playing some bass. He's been learning and taking some bass lessons and all, which is really, really cool. And he's showing off his bass skills, so he's got his bass out there instead of Francesca too. But in the end, though, Elias did pick up the victory over Kofi Kingston. That's huge for Elias' career. You know, Xavier Woods plays on bass. And then we go to Alexis partying around with the creepy Lily doll, which, like, and Lily's teeth is like full of skeletons. You think people joke about my teeth. Anyways, Alexa was telling the story how she shoved a mean girl because the mean girl won't let Alexa have some ice cream, won't share ice cream with Alexa Bliss. And people said, "Why'd you shove that?" The teacher asked her, like, "Oh, Lily made me do it," and they thought she was bonkers. So that's how Lily came to me. She says Lily does not like him, referring to the Fiend, but also she says that the women's division is put on notice. Rhea versus Alexa Bliss, though, that will be an interesting matchup to see, you know, for the title. I'm thinking, but Rhea Ripley versus Alexa Bliss, something to bear in mind. And then Sarah Schreiber interviews Mandy Rose and Dana Brooke about their involvement in the women's tag team matchup. But then Nia Jax interrupts both of them, tries to go after them, and then, you know, Mandy Rose and Dana Brooke took off, and then Baszler says, "Hey, you get your head right. These distractions, you gotta stop. Let's get focused. We're tag team champions." And I was like, okay. But then Angel Garza comes up and talks to Nia Jax. I'm like, oh God. Now, first Reginald, now Angel Garza. Angel. Angel, is a good guy. He has great intentions, but dude, not the time. Not the time. Trust me. So they had a handicap match with McIntyre against T-Bar and Mace, formerly of Retribution. MVP was watching the matchup, and everything else. McIntyre, and then T-Bar and Mace continued to attack McIntyre, double teaming him against the referee's 5 count, and the referee disqualified them, giving McIntyre the win by DQ. But then they're still attacking him, and here comes Braun Strowman. He gets involved in the matchup, but before they retreat, Adam Pearce may have made another match during a commercial break. McIntyre and Strowman versus T-Bar and Mace. And during the matchup, During the matchup, McIntyre yanked Mace's mask off, and it shows that he is Dio Madden or Brennan Williams, the former Shogun of Raw, former Houston Texans football player. And McIntyre went and attacked Mace with the mask. Referee had to ring the bell, disqualification. T-Bar and Mace pick up the victory. But then Braun Strowman grabbed T-Bar's mask, took his mask off too, which is Dominik Dijakovic, or Joey Palatoni's good friend, Chris Dijak. So, and Chris Dijak from Massachusetts doing big things on Monday Night Raw. Big things on Monday Night Raw. So, anyways, so there's that. So, will they wrestle without the masks and clean themselves up and be members of the Hurt Business? I mean, they will look good in suits, though. Trust me on that one. They will look good. They will look good in suits, I think. Then Miz and Maurice head to the ring. Damian Priest had the match against the Miz. Miz tried to use the same tactics as he used last week to beat Damian Priest, but this time around, Priest picked up the one-on-one victory over the Miz in that matchup. Sheamus decided to issue an open challenge to the United States title. Humberto Carrillo, which we had not seen in quite a while on Raw, answered the challenge, but Sheamus, before the bell ring, Sheamus attacked Carrillo. There was no referee in that matchup. The main event was Asuka versus Charlotte Flair. One-on-one was a great matchup. But in the end, Asuka did pick up the victory after Rhea Ripley was invited to ringside, sit down and watch the matchup, and then got involved, distracting Charlotte Flair. And Flair snapped to the point where she attacked the referee. And attacked the referee to the point where Adam Pearce and made a judgment call that was on Raw Talk that Charlotte Flair has been fined $100,000 and suspended indefinitely. That's going to be very interesting in the long run, because we've been hearing that Mia Yim's over going to SmackDown alongside Slapjack. They'll both go on to SmackDown. So we'll see what happens. I mean, that's going to be big. If Charlotte Flair has been suspended indefinitely, that means Asuka and Rhea Ripley one more time at WrestleMania Backlash. Who knows for sure? We'll see what happens. So bearing that in mind, so that's it. So tonight is NXT, and I'll probably miss the first half hour, 40 minutes of it, because I'm going to be at band rehearsal. And when I go home, I'm going to do the set like I always did, but I'm going to do the first half, watch it on TV. And here's the cool part. Tonight there'll be a one-on-one match of Dexter Lumis versus LA Knight. Let me talk to you, dummies. And then you got Kushida, who tweeted that he'll issue an NXT Cruiserweight Championship Open Challenge tonight, or celebration, after a celebration. So that's something. And the debut of international sensation Saray, all the way from Japan. Can't wait to see her in action. And she'll continue that same success that Bull Nakano, Tajiri, because Tajiri did have a little bit of success with the Cruiserweight title, United States title, tag team titles, and then you got Asuka, Shinsuke Nakamura, Kushida, Io Shirai, Kairi Sane, and hopefully she continues that, Saray continues that legacy of great Japanese wrestlers, Joshi wrestlers as well. So I can't wait to see what that's all about. So that's all the time we have on the show. And it's happy 420 day. Remember, my Survivor Series team in honor of 420: Val Venus, Rob Van Dam, Riddle, and MSK. That's all I'm going to say. All right? And I hope you guys have a wonderful, wonderful day. God bless you guys. I'll see you in episode 164. Eric Lima saying, bless out.